Oh, I didn't see you there. Is that line really played out? Like, is it just not funny? I don't know about you, but I love horror. And I also happen to have a fixation with the big lizard. So today, I want to share with you all some instances of when Godzilla got a little bit darker than you might remember. To some, it might seem impossible, because all you know of Godzilla is that he can do a flying drop kick, he dances, he Fortnite, and he curls up in a ball like a damn cat to sleep in the Coliseum. But I'm here today to open your mind a bit to the idea of not just how Godzilla began in horror, but has been slowly making its way back to it. Hello everyone, and yes, today we're going to be taking a look into Godzilla's history with horror. Let's start off with the original film. To veterans of the franchise, this is all going to be pretty straightforward stuff, but if you're just getting into Godzilla, perk up your ears a bit, because this bit's for you. Godzilla was created as an allegory for nuclear annihilation. Its story is a byproduct of the Lucky Dragon 5 incident, a real-world event, where a fishing boat was blasted with radiation, tragically eventually taking the lives of everyone on board. All from the US testing of the Castle Bravo hydrogen bomb. 1954. The same year as the event, Godzilla was born. If you're a first-time viewer of this film, all I can say is just forget the American version exists. While it was necessary for the time to bring Godzilla to a non-Japanese speaking audience here in the US, it really dumbs down the film in my opinion, and takes away a lot of the grit and emotion the original film intended. This was a film that had a message to the world, and wanted to show us the horrors of nuclear weapons. In the end, Godzilla is just a misunderstood creature, mutated without knowledge or consent by man and destined to be destroyed by the men who created it. The creature is taken down by the Oxygen Destroyer, a weapon created by Dr. Serizawa, but not without taking his own life, to keep the secret of his weapon's creation hidden from anyone or anywhere that could use it to harm others. The film has 38, about to be 39, 40 sequels, 7 Game Boy games, 2 Dreamcast games, and a f***ing potato head, as well as a dedicated fan base. And that's all thanks to just how groundbreaking this first film was. I don't know if you can tell by, the pain, suffering, and destruction Godzilla caused, but I think the franchise roots are planted in horror. But Godzilla would lose its way and want to approach the next generation of viewers and take a more kid-friendly approach. Until the next horror outing for Godzilla would come in 2001's Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. This film is a direct sequel to the original, as well as the TriStar Godzilla?
Oh no!
No! It's a lot of fish.
The horror aspects of this film come from its portrayal of Godzilla itself, possessed by the vengeful spirits of victims of the Second World War. Now that's one big demon, and I don't think those supernatural boys are going to be able to take care of this one. But the father of Yuri, the main character, pretty much made himself into the Doomslayer by the end of the movie. It's a great design, one of my favorite with these milky white glossed over eyes. One of the more unsettling designs for sure. This would be it for some time. So the fans had to take the wheel for a bit. One of, if not the oldest versions of Godzilla fan-made horror is a creepypasta by Cosby Daff, all about the classic game Godzilla on the NES. This story plays out like a lot of video game creepypastas do. You go to revisit an old game, but something isn't just quite right. The game doesn't play quite like you remember, almost like it's possessed. And what's this? A mysterious red face? Ooh, all those old creepypastas have to have a red-faced monster. And when he's eventually faced with this monster, it's something else. I don't know if I'd call it horror in today's definition, but it certainly was in the days of the early 2000s internet. All will tremble before the mighty kaiju from the depths of hell. Red. They named it Red. Okay, maybe it's not that scary, but what is that the fight with it causes you to feel pain in real life if you take damage. So it's basically modern VR. While it's classified as horror, it's not one that I visit often. but it's still a part of Godzilla's history with horror. But the next entry is my favorite that Toho themselves produced. Shin Godzilla is the most terrifying version of Godzilla, hands down by concept alone. This was just a creature that fed off nuclear waste. It came up on shore throughout the film. It evolves into an unstoppable abomination that simply cannot be harmed by conventional weapons, only being stopped seconds before unleashing a horde of Godzilla humanoid creatures that certainly would have been the end of humanity. Even then though, they only hit the pause button and bought themselves more time by freezing Godzilla. And if you go into the deleted scenes for the film, you can see that even its blood and skin blown off earlier by US stealth bombers was growing into their own organisms. Even more terrifying, if you go into the official Shin Godzilla art book, you can see what would have come next after the Godzilla horde form. It would have ascended into this feminine, humanoid, godlike form, and who knows what would have come after that. Would Shin Godzilla eventually become the universe itself? And to think all of this could have been avoided, and the evolution may have stopped if humans weren't so instinctively quick to jump to violence. Sure, he evolved once to be able to walk better on land, and once to not overheat, but the protective shielding over his eyes, the atomic breath, that was all evolution to defend itself from us. Alright, I need to sit in the chair, I'm getting too edgy. Have you ever missed out on a convention before? I have. And is one of your favorite parts of going to a convention seeing what kind of odd things you can find? Handmade by Robots has you covered with uniquely styled collectibles for tons of different iconic characters, including this interpretation of the Big G with the Godzilla 2000's paint deco is one of the most unique pieces in my collection. But this adorable little guy needs a friend, so if Godzilla isn't quite your speed, well, maybe the ultimate life form is.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?
Both of these figures are packed with detail and stand out in anyone's collection. Both of these and more are available on the TikTok shop. Just check out the showcase on my profile and it'll take you right to it. Each purchase supports the channel. Thank you to Handmade by Robots for working with the channel. And now back to the... One of the best pieces of Godzilla media of all time, and the catalyst behind this video here, is a short film by Lost Utopia Films. All of their content is amazing, and I highly recommend checking them out. But there's one in particular that I just have to tell you about, Shelter 54. In this universe, it's kind of a sandbox of all sorts of generations of Godzilla creatures, so at first you're gonna be kinda shocked at just how many kaiju are in this thing, but its take on Biollante is something straight out of your worst nightmare. One day a bunch of civilians took shelter in a facility designed to withstand a kaiju attack, but before the doors could close, a recently killed monster's blood suddenly began to fill the room. The doors closed, sealing the fate of all of those trapped within. Upon investigation of the facility, researchers discovered that the remains of the victims have all combined into one horrifying amalgamation of flesh and botanical mutation. One of the people are still responsive, for a time at least. They revealed they're a hive mind of sorts now, and they're in horrible pain. They just want to be free from captivity, or it wants death. The doctor in charge, knowing it can't be set free into the world, tried to end its misery several times behind the back of the company, and he was silenced for it. The night of his death, the monster broke free, taking on Biollante's first form from the film, rapidly expanding into a rose that destroys the entire facility, eventually growing even more into a horrifying and simultaneously badass take on Shin Godzilla, fully beginning its rampage of revenge on humanity for its shortcomings, all while still remembering all those people are inside that monster. And I'd like to think they're executing their own will by doing this. eventually facing off against legendary Godzilla. He's curious of it, until it starts to latch onto him and attempts to adapt Godzilla's powers into its own. Godzilla defeats this form in what is a quick battle at first, but Biollante returns in its third and final form, and even Godzilla can't defeat this abomination fully. I can't recommend this short film enough, and I'll leave a link below as well as a link to the creator directly in the description below. I can't talk about Godzilla and horror without giving a brief mention at least to the comic Godzilla in Hell, where the title says it all. It features some beautiful artwork, and features Godzilla wandering through the depths of hell, coming face to face with some unsettling creatures. It's a must read if you can find a copy. Oh yeah, Godzilla -1. Cheeky bastard started the movie with a jump scare. That being said, do I say this one goes more towards the horror side as well? Yeah, I think so. This version is by far the most vicious and relentless version to date. Its mind is set on destruction, revenge, and the people are nothing short of helpless to fend for their own lives. Delving back more into Godzilla's original roots as an allegory for nuclear annihilation, and nature taking revenge on man for what they've done to the planet. The film has an overall tone of despair all throughout. It's truly moving, with a cherry on top of hopefulness. It was enough to bring me to tears in the cinema. And I hope the sequel releasing this year, -0, keeps the same kind of vibe, and doesn't go straight to Middle-earth, zero-gravity slop. Now don't get me wrong, I like the slop. I quite enjoy the slop, but just not as much as this high art. Godzilla and horror. It's a concept that I really enjoy, and has been embedded in its roots from the start, and one that needs to go even further. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you stuck around to this point, thank you so much for watching. Your view alone, yes you behind the crusty Motorola TrackPhone. Your viewership means the world. And if you want to support a small channel, consider leaving a like, and if you want to support with your wallet, consider adding one of these little beauties to your collection, and head to that link in the description. Anyways, what did I say? There's 7 Godzilla Game Boy games? Huh. Also, no, I'm not gonna talk about Man in the Suit. I don't want to get into all that, alright? Leave me alone.